Okay, so we will do a quick revision of chapter 8, some important concepts, the second part of chapter 8, which we covered. Okay, what is a day of, how many years is one day of Brahma? Um, if you know, you can type it in the chat. How many years is one day of Brahma? No, I'm not getting the right answers. How many? Okay, earthly years is one day of Brahma. Okay, let me start with this probably. How many Chaturyugas are in a day of Brahma? In a 12-hour day? How many Chaturyugas? Okay, 1000 Chaturyuga. Yes, 1000 Chaturyugas. That 1000 Chaturyugas is how many years? That's from this purport, you can say. Oh, okay. This says that 100 years. Yeah. One day of Brahma is uh yeah, that's right. 432,000 into times 10 is one Chaturyuga and times 1000. So yeah, this is right. Reshma Mataji's answer is right. So this many earthly years is one day of Brahma. Okay. And the day of Brahma is technically called as Kalpa. Yeah. Okay. Um, no, only one day of Brahma. One night of Brahma is again the same time. So day is only referred to as Kalpa, not a 24-hour day, 12-hour day. Because in night there are no activities and it's a long duration, very, very long duration. That's why when we are born and we are active, we don't take it lightly. Okay. Mm, what's the difference between Brahma Loka and Krishna Loka? One word difference you can write. Brahma Loka and Krishna Loka. Ah, right. Krishna Loka is eternal, Krishna Loka is spiritual, material and spiritual, temporary and eternal. Okay. So, how is Krishna defining his spiritual abode? Again, one word. Yeah. That's right. One word is go. No return. Eternal bliss and no return. Yes. Infallible. That's right. Never returns. Yeah. Mainly he says that which having attained one never returns. It is my supreme abode. Okay. Okay, say pick one of A, B, C, D. The path of devotional service includes A, studying the Vedas, B, performing sacrifices and undergoing austerities, C, giving charity or pursuing philosophical activities, D, all of the above. Yeah, it's actually D, all of the above. The last verse, where by the process of devotional service, everything else is included in that. Okay, so is glorified devotional service, right? And then that's the link for the next chapter. The most confidential knowledge. What's the meaning of confidential? Confidential documents are, the oath of confidentiality. Yes, it's secret. It's not revealed. Yes, it's not to be shared to everyone. It's a secret, and it can be shared only to qualified people. I mean, those in the board of directors, then they have that confidential document that they can only have access to, like that. But Krishna is giving that most confidential knowledge in the chapter 9 as a open secret. Okay. After going through this, there will be one question: why this is termed as most confidential? So we'll try to answer this at the end of the session. So if anyone can read. Yes, Prabhuji, can read the first 5.
Hare Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Those who are not faithful in devotional service in this devotional service cannot attain me. O conqueror of enemies, therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. By me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them, and yet everything is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation.
Okay. So, what is the criteria for receiving this knowledge? You can raise hands if you know the answer from these 5 verses. Meera Mataji.
Mataji, it is to be faithful in devotional service towards Krishna.
Okay. There is one prerequisite for even before that. Ashutosh Prabhu.
Not to be envious, and then friendship with the Lord.
So thank you for that. Because he's starting with this. Because you are never envious of me, I shall impart you this most confidential knowledge. Okay, so why? Mm. Yes, why? Yes, Prabhuji. Ashutosh. Or anyone else? Yeah, Abba Mataji.
As this uh, knowledge was disappearing from the universe, so Arjun was the true devotee and friend. So in this succession, so he thought of giving him this knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, one common question. Will we reveal our secret to someone? Okay, what's the quality? How can we say someone is X is Y's enemy and Z is Y's friend? What is the main thing that differentiates?
Because X is envious and Z is not envious. So this envious decides whether you are enemy or you are friend.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Yes. Yes, Annapurni Mataji.
Unalloyed love. When there is love, there will be no envy, there will be no hatred, there's no questioning.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, the word enemy comes from the word envious. That's nice. So, envious means what? Like, if someone is envious of someone, what is going on in the mind or the activity, or we are trying to see why Krishna is saying that you're not envious of me. Yeah, Srivatsa.
Mataji, as far as I know, envy is a byproduct of spiritual decadence. So, someone who envies someone else basically wants what that other person has. So, there's a difference between jealousy and envy, as far as I know. Envy is I want what yes, one of the two interchangeable, but one is I want what they have, and the other one is I lack I lack what they have. So, but as far as I know, it stems from the spirit lacking gratitude and not realizing that um, we are all under uh, spiritual guidance and blessing. We are all God's children, essentially.
Okay, thank you. That's very nice. Like, envy means cannot tolerate that someone is having something. I want that. Why is he having that? I want that. Like that. Okay. So if we have that envy towards God and God is telling out his opulences, then we can't have God's opulence. But what we tend to do, we bring him down. We bring him down from his supremely, you know, uncompetitive position, saying that he's nothing but a human being, probably an extraordinary human being. So, with that mentality, even if we hear what the Lord is revealing his secret also, it will not be useful. Why? It's like we are pouring milk in a bigger pot, but the pot has a big hole in it. A person who's hearing this greatness of the Lord, if he's envious of the Lord, He cannot tolerate. Like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. Who is this Vishnu? Why should Vishnu be God? I will do tapasya to Brahma. I will get immortality. I'll bring everybody in control. What Vishnu does, what Vishnu's position, I will take it. And Ravana was actually previously he was called Dasagriva. That was his birth name. Actually, what happened in Dasagriva means because he was born with 10 heads, and he knows every Veda, every mantra to the point, but his heart was burning always with lust and the power to enjoy, the greed to enjoy. And one time, what he did, he wanted to shake up Kailash, and he tried to lift Kailash mountain by putting his hand under it, and he was able to shake. Lord Shiva was seeing who's that tiny fellow who's shaking my thing, and he just pressed his toe a little bit down. Then uh, Dashagriva's hands, 20 hands, got stuck in the weight of the Kailash mountain. And then what he did? Can anyone guess what he did? What would
He
anyone?
cried.
He cried. He cried for so long. And so he was given the name Ravana. Ravana means one who cried for so long. So Lord Shiva made him cry for so long, long, that then finally, he released his foot and he could take his hand out. Even then, he was challenging. Even the last day also he was not willing because of enviousness. So we may think that I am not Ravana, I am not Kamsa, I am not, Hiranyakashipu. But we have the minute tendencies somewhere deep in the heart. Otherwise, why is he talking this, right? So, non envious means accepting Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead and ourselves as a subordinate. Uh, that is being friendly. A friend, you can tell a secret to the friend because a friend will not exploit. But an envious person will tend to minimize or try to get. In this case, no one can, get Krishna's opulence, so he's deriding him. This that he says in the coming verses. Okay, this is a very important verse, text 2. Anyone wants to recite and everyone can recite back. Okay, Abba Mataji.
Rajvidya Rajgoyam
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Pavitramidumuttamam
Pavitramidam Uttamam
Pratyakshaavagamam
Pat
Pratya.
Pratyakshavagam
Pratyakshaavagamam.
dharmyam.
Oh, you have
Go ahead, Mataji. Abba Mataji.
traffic jam.
It was little. I'm sorry, I was not able to spell correctly.
No problem. You're good. Everyone is.
Fire the arrow, Mataji. Fire the Brahmastra. Don't stop now.
Okay. But it's finished. There were only two. I have to read the other also. I don't know.
No, the last line.
Okay. Last line I've already of the shloka, Mataji.
Yeah, this slokam, I think we missed hearing your last line. Sukam kar.
Okay.
Hear it.
Okay. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham katurma
Susukham
Oh wow.
Sukham
Beautiful. What's her name?
Mahyayam.
Honey?
Honey,
Okay,
can
okay,
I say hi?
okay. So pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. What is the king of education? I'm asking from the English, you answer from the Sanskrit. King of education is
Rajavidya.
secrets. King of confidential knowledge.
Rajaguyam.
Okay, so this knowledge, Krishna is saying the king of education and king of secretive knowledge. That means, you call something a king of something because that's a that's the king size. Everything else is included in that. So what he is going to say is that kind of confidential knowledge, and there is no better knowledge than this, and everything else is included in that. And it's pavitram, purest, uttamam, transcendental. It's not one of the three modes of material nature. Pratyaksha avagamam. Okay. By direct experience, we can understand, not just blind belief. So we can experience, means we can actually directly perceive what he is saying, this principle of religion, and how, when we do this, what we feel, susukam kartum avyayam. Susukam is, sukam is happy, susukam is very happy. While performing this principle of religion, it is the king of education and king of transcendental knowledge, we can actually be very happy, and this education is also everlasting. So what Krishna is giving, he's qualifying it, how it is very secret and very precious. But what's the thing? If we faithfully take it, then we can get the gist of it. If we doubt, okay, there could be doubts, but the doubts can be asked and clarified. But beyond that, if we still think that, oh, not what Krishna says is all right, then we have no hope. Because then how will we learn? From where will we learn? Right? So he says, at least a basic faith in what he says, uh, that is required as a prerequisite to reap all these benefits of this knowledge. And then he's saying about his, because what he's going to say now, by me, oh, give me once. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So we're talking about faith. And then what he's saying is something that, there's no way that it can be experimentally proved by ourselves, nor we can deny that Krishna is like this. So there's no other choice for us other than to accept in a good faith that the Lord is telling this for my benefit. Actually, Arjuna will tell it in the 10th chapter that whatever you're telling, it's for my benefit. That I understand. Again in the 11th chapter, after seeing the universal form. So he's saying, by me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So that's why he's called Vishnu. Vishnu means one who enters into every single thing, every atom of this universe. And so that's why he's omnipresent. All beings are in me. That means he knows about every single living and non-living thing because he's pervading everything. But I am not in them. In the sense, we don't know him. Like what is his real position, whether he's there or not. So that's why he says, I am not in them. And that doesn't mean that he is, you know, practically carrying everything as, the Atlas, the Greek mythologian, that Atlas carrying the world. It's not like that. He's effortlessly doing it. This is not a big effort for him that everything rests on me. Everything does not technically or physically rest on him. It's a very, that's why he says, Pashyame yogam aishwaram. Behold my mystic opulence. Effortlessly, he is able to uh, be present in the whole universe as well as be the source of creation. Okay. Now further 6 to 10. Reshma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Text 8. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Text 9. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, treated as though neutral. Text 10. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Madhuri. So he's giving the example of the wind. We see, right, if tornado comes or if hurricane comes, they just evacuate. With all the thing also, I mean, nothing is, it will move mountains. It will, move the oceans, tsunami. So the wind is the most powerful of all the natural phenomena, and there are many histories connected to this. But then the wind is within the sky. So like that way, and it gets everywhere. Like although there are wonderful phenomena, basically that's what he's saying. Everything is resting in me. So this can we find, we read this in the 8th chapter, that at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. So what does the end of the millennium mean? At the end of the millennium means the death of Brahma. But Brahma lives for 100 years, and his one day is calculated at, this is what we arrived at, 4.3 into this number of our earthly years. His night is also of the same duration. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his year of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. Then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. Bahu Syam. Although I am one, I shall become many. This is a Vedic aphorism. He expands himself in this material energy, and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. So what he is talking about himself is a continuation of what we saw, Brahma's life. But at the end of Brahma's death, where everything goes, because from his lotus navel, the lotus stem came and Brahma is there. And after, at Brahma's death, everything again is wound up back into the navel of the Lord. So he is, yeah. And then again, when there is a necessity for creation, he creates again. So that means he's completely having control over the whole cosmic order simply by his will. But he is not, he is the master of karma, not that he is under karma. Although he's creating these fantastic things, he's always ever detached, seated as though neutral, like a judge. The judge is ordering someone a big remuneration for finding out something, or and the second person, he might be ordering a severe punishment, but he is neutral. He is neither in the moved by the person who received a great wealth, nor is under sorrow by a person who is going into jail for a prison. He is giving what everyone deserves through his energy. So he's summarizing this text 10. This is also an important verse. Who has not read so far? Anyone who wants to read? Okay, Srivatsa, you can read.
The verse, right, Mataji?
Verse, yeah.
The verse, okay. BG 9.10. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi
Mayadhyakshena prakriti
suyate sa characharam
Suyate sacharacharam
hetunanena kaunteya
hetunanena kaunteya
jagad vipari vartate.
jagat vivartate.
The translation also, Mataji?
Yeah.
Okay. Translation. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Mm. So he is the father. And he's not directly in touch with the material creation, directly attached. There is activity on his part that is just his glance. And what is the example given? When there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, material nature without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot do anything, yet the Supreme Personality is detached from all material activities. It's a very high level of what is the connection between the material world and the Lord. So he's saying, I'm still detached. So this is a very powerful example that's given in the Smriti. The smelling and the flower, they are not in touch with each other. Okay, but through the power of the smelling, the fragrance of the flower is touched. So material, there is no direct connection between the Lord in his activity, in the general functions of this material world, but just by his glance. Okay. So that's why we go to the temple to get his glance. That's why it's called darshan. Whether we see him or not, we come in his vision to get his glance. So this is a big topic, but Krishna is summarizing here. 9.10, yeah. So material nature is not independent. It's one of the energies, and it's manifested and unmanifested again and again. Okay. So after telling this, he's going to say why, what would envious people do if they listen to this? What will be their comment? So 11 to 15. Can anyone cite? Yes, Prabhuji.
Text 11. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They don't know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that we. Text 12. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitful activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. 13. O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in the devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of God, original and inexhaustible. Text 14. Always chanting my glory, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. 15. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so those people who don't believe in this, in how this material nature works and how he's everywhere present, they call him. I mean, what they can't understand is how such a person on whom the whole material energy is resting, he is the will behind everything, he's neutral, he's detached, but he's descending in a human form. And more bewildering is he is getting scared seeing the stick in the hand of Mother Yashoda, or he is, playing with the gopas, or he's dancing with the gopis, or he is, as very lovingly embracing the cow. His sweetness when he comes. They say God is everywhere. God cannot be, um, cannot come in the human form. That is generally everyone's understanding. We want to keep God as high as possible. So when we want, we will we will take him. We will come before him, especially on Diwali and Lakshmi Puja, or on Janmashtami, Durga Puja, Ganesh Chaturthi. But every day else is movie day. Every weekend is having fun. But except for these days, so we set aside him like that and just go and make sure that such a God has to give me everything for my enjoyment. I should not have any. That is his job. His job description is order supplier. Other than that, he remains on top of the coconut tree, and in the clouds, and not easily accessible. I mean, I don't want to be in an accessible range to the Lord. So there he's calling fools. Why? Avajananti Mamudha Manushim Tanumashritam. I have come in the human form. Manushim Tanum Ashritam. I have assumed a human form. Okay. Without knowing my transcendental nature. Parambhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. What they do? They deride. fools deride me when I descend in the human form, like Sishupala, Duryodhana, and Ravana, and all the others. They were the majority that time. Those who could see the Lord as his transcendental Lord was very few. That's why Pandavas were a small army, and Duryodhana and others were a huge army. So, yeah. And then, so what's the result of them? They want to be the Lord. Okay, that's why they deride someone else cannot be God. Krishna cannot be God because secretly each and every one of us are God. So, with such a knowledge or deliberate defiance to accept the supremacy of the Lord, their fruitive activities, culture of knowledge, everything is defeated. But there are great Mahatmas who are so not deluded. The great souls are under the protection of divine nature. They are different from those people. And what they do, because they know the Lord as a supreme Lord, original and inexhaustible, they don't keep that knowledge just as theory. They are engaged in devotional service. And when they're engaged in devotional service, they feel such a bliss, such a pleasure, such a satisfaction of heart that no other material activity can give, because that's the reciprocation from the Lord. And that's what he's saying, that we can perceive this Rajaguhya as Pratyaksha Vagamam. So they can perceive the Lord like that. And what is their, what do they do? This is another important verse. Anyone wants to recite? Someone who have not recited so far. Okay, I think we only have two hands. Yes, Prerna Kumari.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Am
Krishna.
I audible?
Yes, Mother.
GG 9.14. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam
Satatam kirtayanto mam
Yatantascha Drida Vritaha
yatantascha
Yatantascha
dridha vrataha
dridataha
Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya
namasyantascha mam
namasyantascha mam
bhaktya
bhaktya
Nitya Yukta Upasate.
nityayukta
nityayukta
upasate.
upasate.
Thank you. So always chanting my glories. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. They will ask, where in the Bhagavad Gita Krishna has said 16 rounds? Why are you making 16 rounds? Yeah, Krishna didn't say 16 rounds. Krishna said 24 hours, Satatam. But because we can't do that, we are at least trying to come up to a minimum standard. So, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dridavrataha. With great determination, they are trying. Namasyantyascha Mam Bhaktya. Offering obeisances, my devotee is perpetually worshipping. So, what this small act of bowing down before the Lord or chanting his glories, would he benefit in any way? Looking at the description of what he is, okay, everything culminates in him, everything originates from him. He's a resting place of everything. What would a tiny, insignificant creatures bowing down or chanting his glories make any difference to him? But because he's a sweet Lord and he wants to reciprocate with us, he is giving himself to such a person who is giving himself to him, bowing down before him. Means saying that my life is yours, everything is dedicated to you. For such a person, he is also reciprocating like that. Okay. Then there are others who's performing karma yoga and jnana yoga. So they also worship the Supreme Lord in many different ways. They may not directly perform devotion, but indirectly they may do so, worshipping the universal form or worshipping the sacrifices and others. So let's read from 15 to 20, 16 to 20. Yeah. Yes, Mataji, can read. Abba Mataji, you want to read? You're on mute.
Hare Krishna Mataji and every Bhaktan. Text 16. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Text 17. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable O. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. Text 18. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seat. Text 19. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matters are in me. Text 20. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice seeking the heavenly planets worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, this particular section deals with karma yoga. So, for a person who's so much attached to worshipping the ancestors and performing sacrifice, Krishna is saying how he's pervading every single aspect of that as well. He's the butter, he's the fire, he's the offering to the ancestors, he's the mantra, the healing herb that is put in the sacrifice. And also he is the syllable Om and the Rig, Sama and Yajur Vedas. So this is a very nice verse. 9.18. Maybe you can repeat after me. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi
Gatir Bharta
Bharta
Prabhu
Prabhu
Sakshi
Sakshi
Vasa Sharanam Suhrit
Nivasa Sharanam
Sharanam Suhrit
Prabhavaha Pralayah Sthanam
Prabhavaha
Pralayam
Pralayasthanam
Nidanam Bijamavyayam.
Nidhanam Bijamavyayam.
So he has summarized every single thing of this in this, that how he's the goal, he's a sustainer, he's the Lord, he's the witness of everything, he's the abode, refuge, and Suhrit, most intimate friend. Where did we come across? This is another shloka. So in the 5.20, in the 5th chapter, the last verse also, Krishna says that I am the Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, the most intimate friend. So Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam, he is a creation, dissolution, and ground. Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. So everything else, speaks about his greatness in this, how he's sustaining, he's the goal, he's witness, he's abode, he's refuge. But in between comes his sweetness also. If he's not a personality, how can he be this most intimate friend? See, that can be realized only by the bhakti yogis. Yeah. So, and he says that I'm immortality and I'm also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. I give heat, withhold, and send forth the rain means he's the Lord of all the devas who are in charge of all this. That is what Indra tried, right? Indra was thinking, he purposefully stopped them, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and others, to do the Indra Yajna. And Nanda Maharaj told Krishna, Krishna, what you're saying is right. We have to worship this Govardhan hill. But let me first do this to Indra, and then I will do another arrangement and worship Govardhan hill, like as you say. Krishna said, no, that will take a long time. Anyway, you use this and worship. So they did not think Krishna as a small boy. That's the point. They are devotees, but they know in their actions we can see how, although he was a small boy, Nanda Maharaj listened to his suggestion and used whatever they used for the sacrifice to worship Govardhan hill and not Indradev. So Indra said, who is this talkative boy, okay, whom they are all listening to? So let me give rain and destroy them. And so rain after rain, and it is said that the rain fell like elephant leg. That was the amount of that was the, it's not that a streak of rain. It was as thick as elephant leg. Each That was the intensity of the rain that Indra sent. And what did Krishna do? So Indra sent that, and then Krishna didn't, look at him and stop his rain or evaporate the rain. What he did was devastating rainfall in Vrindavan. Indra cursed the action of the inhabitants of Vrindavana. By defying the authority of the demigods, the inhabitants of Vrindavana will suffer in material existence. Having neglected the sacrifice to the demigods, they cannot cross over the impediments of ocean of material existence. So he's saying this, see, the men of Vrindavana, said Indra, have become too puffed up over their material opulence and are overconfident due to the presence of their tiny friend, Krishna, because he was only 7 years old. He's simply talkative, childish, and unaware of the complete cosmic situation, although he's thinking himself very advanced in knowledge. Because they have taken Krishna so seriously, they must be punished. They should be destroyed, okay, with their cows. In this way, Indra ordered the Samvartaka cloud to go to Vrindavana and inundate the place. So then there was a huge description. They all prayed to Krishna, you are all powerful, you are very affectionate to your devotees, now please protect us, who have been very much harassed by angry Indra. Upon hearing their prayer, Krishna could understand that Indra, being bereft of his sacrificial honor, was pouring down rain that was accompanied by heavy pieces of ice and strong winds. Although all this was out of season. Okay, so so the demigods usually don't forget the supremacy of the Lord. So that's why he's saying the demigods are my devotees, and therefore it is not possible for them to forget my supremacy. But somehow or other he has become puffed up with material power and thus is now maddened. I shall act in such a way to relieve him of his false prestige. I shall give protection to my pure devotees in Vrindavana, who are at present completely dependent on my mercy and who I have taken completely under my protection. I must save them by my mystic power. So this is the Lord, and then he picked up Govardhana hill with one hand, exactly as a child picks up a mushroom from the ground. Then he called everyone. It's like a huge umbrella. You can come, everyone can come inside this. And what happened? The inhabitants of Vrindavana and their animals remained there for 1 week without being disturbed by hunger, thirst, or any other discomforts. They didn't even feel hunger or thirsty for a week. They were simply astonished to see how Krishna was holding the mountain with his left hand, and then seeing the extraordinary mystic power of Krishna, Indra, the king of heaven, was thunderstruck. He is the lord of the thunderbolts, but he himself was thunderstruck and baffled in his determination. How long can he go? 7 days non-stop? Then he realized this is something beyond me. Okay, then everyone left, and after this, they're all. This is a very wonderful chapter summarizing whatever Krishna did so far, and then Indra is coming to the Lord, and then he's praying. See, this is what we are reading now. If someone thinks that when you enter within this material world, you accept the modes of material nature, he is mistaken. The waves of the material qualities are never able to touch you, and you certainly do not accept them when you're present in this world. Your lordship is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. Now he's saying, now by your grace, I can understand that you're the supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, and you're transcendental to all material qualities. Then he's saying that how you are the father of the cosmic manifestation and you have the right to chastise me. I've committed a great offense unto your lotus feet. And then when you came to give protection, I was thinking that you are so, but he's saying, as I am your eternal servant, kindly excuse me. And also due to my gross ignorance, I created great disturbance in Vrindavana by sending torrents of rain and a heavy hailstorm. I acted out of severe anger caused by you, by your stopping the sacrifice which was to be held to satisfy me. But my dear Lord, you're so kind to me that you have bestowed your mercy upon me by destroying all my false pride. This is Indra's acceptance. I therefore take shelter of your lotus feet. My dear Lord, you are not only the supreme controller, but also the spiritual master of all living entities. So he's saying why he stopped. And then Indra returned, and then with Surabhi cows also offered prayers. Surabhi cow bathed Krishna with her milk, and Indra gave Krishna the name Govinda, one who is a protector of cows and senses. Yeah. This great incident is a powerful example of how Krishna consciousness can benefit the world. Even the lower animals forget their envious nature and become elevated to the qualities of the demigods. Okay, so we will pause here till 20. We can do the rest of the chapter the next week. On Thursday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So any quick questions? Yes, Abba Mataji.
But just a query, are there many Vaikunthas also? The
Yeah,
Krishna Dham?
yeah, there are many Vaikuntha Lokas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there are some. No questions in the chat. I saw some question in the chat. Indra not aware of Krishna's incarnation. Yeah. Indra is usually aware. That's why we read that line that Indra is conscious but still under the influence of modes of nature. So he was overpowered by anger. And, you know, and that forgetfulness came that, how come the small boy can be my lord? Probably not. Because his yajna was stopped. So that's why he says, I was overpowered by anger and I caused this to you. So if the lesson is, if Indra, if it can happen to Indra, then what about us? That's why we need to be very conscious of our very fragile position as a devotee and take shelter of the Lord always. Yes, Vinayak Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So I had the same question as Reena Mataji. I think you clarified. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. We'll read it's there in the Krishna book, in Bhagavatam also in detail. Like as
Okay.
we just skimmed through because there was no thing, but I can share the link and you can read it fully. So many of these questions are answered.
No. I think I understand. I mean, somewhere I read that Indra, I mean, they're doing some yagna and they stopped immediately. And okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Like us, we may know very well that when we are provoked by anger, we will forget the relationship of the person whom we are angry with, because that memory will go. The anger will, blind everything, and then we want to just give our anger away. So that's what, Krishna is, Indra is also accepting that I got overpowered. Okay. Yes, Nirmala Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This doubt is regarding the chapter 8, text 16. In that it is said, if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. So, is there a possibility that we can make spiritual progress even in the higher planets?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay.
It is possible, but it's gradual, and their facilities are there, but there is no much pressure at all. Like there are more, it's more enjoyment there. It's more pleasure and less pain. And here in the hellish planets, it's more, pain. Means they have to struggle a lot to make the two ends meet and no time to think about this. But here is a good balance between both. But it's
Okay,
possible to make progress. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, got it. And one more question, Mataji. In the same chapter, in text 19, it says the life is like we are all annihilated at the end of Brahma's day, like in the night time also.
Yeah.
So for one Chatur Yuga, again we will be annihilated, like we will be resting in Vishnu. Is it something like that?
Not resting in Vishnu. When Brahma sleeps, yes. Yeah. Brahma sleeps, we all will. There is no creation because Brahma is sleeping. No. Brahma has to create the planets, the
Okay.
species, and karma, and he oversees everything. And he only creates the demigods who's doing all this, taking care of each department. But he himself sleeps, so then everything is. It's in the night of Brahma. So there is again complete darkness only, and all the other souls in different planets with their karma in the subtle body take shelter of Vishnu's body again, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Again, when the next day comes, Brahma himself gets up and he's again bewildered. Who am I? Where am I?
Okay.
So again, he is given the Vedas and then he starts the creation that day.
Okay, Mataji.
Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Yes, Sri, what's up?
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. I had a question regarding the concept of envy and whether it pertains to, does it have a material source or a spiritual source?
That's a good question. Envy is something that cannot be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. It is said that all the other vices can be engaged in Krishna's service. Even anger,
Mm.
and like Hanuman was angry, and Arjuna was also angry at the Kauravas, and but that anger was also employed in Krishna's service. But envy cannot be employed. So it's a material emotion, and that's a vice that has to be given up. And envy can be given up by service.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
by service, we develop love. Opposite to envy is love. So
Mm.
more we serve the Lord, the more we are freed from envy.
Yeah. Because, okay. The envy almost comes from Aham Brahmasmi then? Like, I am God symptom?
Brahmasmi is I am a spiritual being. Aham Brahmasmi, it's not Aham Para Brahmasmi.
Mm-hmm.
A Parabrahman is different from Brahman. So when we understand that subordinate position only, then we'll be that's the way to overcome envy in
But
service.
it's very low, right, Mataji? It's a very low state of consciousness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Even
because I've tried to get some people out. I've read that lately I was reading that, like some people cannot be helped.
mm,
So that's why I asked this question. It's like who to help and who to just leave.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's very nice. Yeah, we have to make uh, demarcation. I mean,
Yeah, distinction. Yes, Mataji.
yes, yes. Reena Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you once again. Very beautiful session. Every session, I learned so much, so many nuances. And today you stressed on the sweetness of the Lord. It was very beautiful to hear.
Thank you, Mataji. I mean, I have heard from many, many devotees, and I'm grateful. I'm passing on your credit to them, and thanks to you.
Thank you, Mataji. I have a question. I think last week you covered the 5 kinds of liberation. And I think we talked about the first one, which is not accepted by Vaishnavas.
Mhm.
Right? And so I don't know if you covered or I just thought about this today. I didn't remember. How are these allocated? Like who gets what, or like, what's the is there a mention of how that's decided?
Uh-huh. I don't think so, but it is revealed because everybody has a original spiritual nature and spiritual service. That is already that is there. That is innate in us. So when that spiritual nature is revived, and then after certain maturity of devotional service, I've heard that Guru and Krishna reveals that what kind of liberation each one we are uh, supposed to get.
Mhm. And so is there like, I mean, what I understand is it's already innate in each one of us. So it's not something that you are working towards. That's
That,
what you're saying, right? It's revealed. It's not
that
something that we are working towards. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Mataji. Very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Chandir Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question regarding envy.
Mhm.
When we talk about envy, is that could be from the 3 modes
Yeah, very much.
or prakriti? Like maybe that's the person's nature or prakriti?
No, it's not from the three modes. It is from the desire to be the best of all, or indirectly, it's a desire to be God. So a person, an envious person always is comparing. Why am I not like this? Why am I not, getting what they have? Or why am I not peaceful like this? So why? Because we have this desire to be the best in everything, which is otherwise desire to be God indirectly. So that's where envy comes. But if you see, uh, if you see self-realized people, sages or saints, or anybody in any yoga process, and bhakti yogis also, they don't have this attitude of, I mean, I should get everything, even in the spiritual sense, name, fame. And how do they take other? Today only I was listening to a very nice lecture from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So he was telling that how when somebody else is performing good, how a self-realized person looks at it is the Lord's opulence that is coming through that person. Like if somebody is so good in music and uh, he's getting so much likes, and nowadays social media, so much comparison is there. Oh, what did you post? What did I post? This, that. So uh, a self-realized person will see that without the Lord's sanction and without, it is the Lord's ability, because he says, Shabdake Paurusham Rishu. I am the ability in man. So he doesn't see that this person has this ability and I don't have. But he sees that God has given him, bestowed him with this power and ability, and he sees God in that. So he doesn't envy or compare or feel morose that he doesn't have that.
So Mataji, if they like the demigods, like you gave the Indra's example, or it's there, um, is that the touch of envy in Indra? Like
Sure, a moment of delusion, not exactly envy, because envy means he becomes demons like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. Indra is not a demon, but Indra was overpowered. See, Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, they never repented and accepted, right? But
right.
but Indra came and Indra understood. Okay, so they are not asuras, they are devas, they are bestowed with good qualities, but even they can be moved sometimes by this power of, getting the things. And when his honor is stopped, then he went into anger, and because of that he did this, not out of habitual envy. But he could see the presence of Krishna immediately after 7 days. I mean, he saw, okay, oh, let me stop this. I'm not going to do this anymore, and I've made a mistake. So for us also, that's what is, when Krishna says, I am everywhere, we try to see the Lord in every situation, in every, in everything, like somebody getting better and somebody doing, how I can see God in that, not just the physical manifestations, but in every aspect of our life also, in every situation, in every circumstance, in every person that we come across. That means that we are able to see the Lord everywhere. It doesn't come overnight. uh, it comes by practice under a spiritual master, reading and applying and understanding and molding our thoughts and life in such a way to understand this reality.
So that is why the reason Krishna is saying in one of the verse here that he's everywhere, but not in some, like somewhere he's not.
He's sorry. He's
In one of the verse it says he's in a kind of everywhere, but not in everything.
no. He's everywhere, But that he is everywhere, we are not able to see. That's why he's
we are.
not in them.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That clears up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Sadbir Mataji, Hare Krishna. You're able to unmute?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, so the first, I'm just very thankful. I get to see a book, like I didn't had a background information about Baman Avatar, and also I get to read the Avatar book. It was really very knowledgeable. And so I, like when I was reading, I just got a few questions from there, like um, it says Kans got the Akashvani, right? And I was wondering if Vishnu already took Avatar to kill him, or it was already decided. So why he got that Akashvani, or why Vishnu let Kans know, and then Vasudev and Devki Mata has to go to the jail?
He's adventurous now.
Oh.
Vishnu is more interesting. Even the cinema directors, if they take a movie that everything is going on nicely, no problem, hero, heroine, no villain at all, then who will pay and go to the movie? Right?
Yeah.
When Krishna comes here, he gives a trailer of what
Mhm.
nature is, what is going on in the world, what is going on in his world. So
Yeah.
he's the supreme lord, and he had the power to tell Kamsa, try if you can to stop me from killing you. Even before I'm born, I'm telling you that Devaki's eighth son will kill you. Try
Yeah.
if you can. So it's a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a good point. And why it has to be the eighth child, like not first, second, or fifth?
Actually, that's a story that six uh, uh, they're called Shadgarbha Asuras. They were to be taken birth and immediately killed by Kamsa.
Okay.
So it goes back beyond, I mean, two lifetimes that they were they were the sons of Marichi, and they laughed at Brahma for some apparent mistake of Brahma, and because of that they had to be killed by their own father. And so in the previous life, Kalanemi was Kamsa, and then he was killed. And this lifetime, Kamsa was not their original father but their uncle, but then he was supposed to kill them. That was their thing. So then they got killed, six of them, and to purify that place from them. So always, whenever before Krishna comes, Balaram comes to make everything right for him. So it is said that seventh pregnancy was Balaram, and then he was taken into the womb of Rohini, and then eighth Krishna came.
Okay, very nice. And Mataji, I would really appreciate if you can recommend some books also, like these small books, so where I can get into the just into with the touch, because this book was really helpful, because I used to be so confused. I just knew very micro knowledge about Ram and Krishna, but about Baman Maharaj and Matsya, I was like surprised, like wow. So if there are more books related to that where I can like get to connect with more into the history and more involved.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. I can check. Actually, Bhagavatam, all the 10 incarnations are given in detail. It's there
Okay.
available online also.
Yeah.
Each one is in one canto, one chapter like that. But it's very nice to read detailed. You want about Dashavatar, or I mean, you can
Yeah.
approach me offline. I can connect,
Okay, for
understand,
sure.
read, and help you with that.
Okay, that will be great. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we will conclude here with Srivatsa Prabhu's question or any comment.
Do you have time, Mataji, to
Yeah,
take my question?
yeah.
Okay. Now that the Dashavatar came up, I had a question with regards to. I know I've asked this question before, kind of. I don't know, but somehow it's registered in my mind that the Dashavatar is like maybe I'm very neophyte still, but from Matsya all the way to Kalki, is there some sort of evolution taking place? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha.
It looks like it's a different kind of evolution. Not like Darwin evolution from one cell to two cells or something like that. That's
Hmm.
not mentioned there. But I mean, Matsya
Hmm.
also ordinary, not ordinary fish. No, that fish kept on growing.
Hmm. No, but still, don't you feel like, I mean, like I said, maybe it's neophyte, maybe I'm looking at it from material. You have fish, then you have Kurma, the tortoise, Varaha, the boar, Narasimha, half lion, half man, Vamana, the dwarf, Parshurama, axe wielding barbarian, Ramachandra, ideal man and king, Sri Krishna, but then Buddha sometimes is incorporated, sometimes is not, and then Kalki is a spirit.
No,
This cannot be just.
actually, if you see Bhagavatam's description, there are so many in between. This was not the only order. This
I see.
order, Jayadeva Goswami took it before he sang Gita Govinda to say that the person whom I'm going to talk about is not an ordinary person. He came as Matsya and he carried the whole until when Brahma, after Manvantara, or I think after Brahma, until he gets up, he is able to keep intact the seeds and everything. So he's not an ordinary fish and he's not an ordinary tortoise. He might come as fish and tortoise. So these are only few specific incarnations that he picked and gave
I see.
10 in number. But if you see Bhagavatam, there are 23. But even after 23, Bhagavatam says these are just a simple, these are just the example of many, many, many who incarnations they are there. All of them cannot be enumerated, but I just gave a list like that.
So after the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is definitely like Bhagavatam seems to be like the crux of the Vedic injunction and knowledge.
Yeah,
Mataji?
because that's compiled by Vyasadeva and spoken by Vyasadev's son for 7 continuous days and nights. So
I see.
we don't have access to Vedas, we don't have access to the other so many Upanishads or other things, but one Purana which is there fully available is Bhagavatam, and that is the essence because the person who compiled the Vedas, Veda Vyasa, wrote it, and so it's a natural commentary to the Vedas.
I see. So it's self-explanatory, or is there an essence of revelation to it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
After
when
reading the Bhagavatam starts from where Bhagavad Gita is finishing, but we can read them simultaneously. Like Bhagavad Gita is concepts, Bhagavatam is application, and that too Bhagavatam is not. What Sukadeva Goswami also speaks is here and there the histories which
Mhm.
pertain to Parikshit.
When I'm saying revelation, I mean you sit and you meditate on a verse and you actually get revelation.
No,
Like
that's not how we read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. We hear commentaries from Acharyas, the previous persons, and they are themselves not the persons who got revelation on their own. They have listened to this from their previous teachers. And
like that.
just then only we will get the correct essence from the Lord, from Brahma himself. If we
Mm.
can get only whatever we can skim through.
In Kali Yuga, this is still bona fide, Mataji. This Guru lineage. After some point, wouldn't it cease to be bona fide?
No, no. If it is ceased, then Krishna will start the lineage again. That's what he is saying
Uh,
to Arjuna. Now I am starting this again. I started this with Surya Dev, and over a period of time it get lost. That's the nature of material nature. Anything will get lost in due course of time. Then it has to be
yes.
replenished. That is why Sambhavami Yuge Yuge.
Yuge, Yuge. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Fantastic.
Mataji, I want to make one like just it's coming in my mind. Can you make one session on these lokas, what you explain in 18 days Bhagavad Gita, like all these lokas, and there is so much knowledge in there. We need to know one thing at a time in detail.
Yeah, no, you wanted a shloka session?
No, like how these lokas, like upper loka,
Okay.
bottom loka,
Hmm.
and so many levels are in there. Like I really want to know the details of it. Like really, uh, it will be nice to know all these lokas.
Yeah, we will do that, Mataji, one time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Reshma Mataji, you had sent me some questions. Very nice.
Mataji, if it is late, we can maybe catch up on Thursday, Mataji.
I can quickly go through that. So one question is that the metaphor of Maharaja Kulashekara saying that I'm quite healthy and my mind can seek entrance at the stem of your lotus feet while I am healthy, so let me die now. Right?
Yeah.
So what is this metaphor is that we may not be very familiar with this because we don't see the swan at all now, no lake lotus ponds also. But this was a very common sight in the previous thing, it's if we see the descriptions of cities and villages, even towns, there are ponds filled with lotus flowers and there are different types of swans and other it's a common sight there, but now we don't know. So that's why Kulashekara is the great devotee in the line of Lakshmi ji, Sri Sampradaya. So he is saying this that the swan, very its natural play is to go to the lotus, it's go into lotus stems. The swan likes to play like that. So similarly, my mind also is very willingly, very happily and enjoyably thinking about you. It's not a strain for me to think about you now. But at the end of the life, when I am in so much pressure, when everything is in disorder, then I may or may not be able to think about you. So now let me die immediately because when I'm thinking, I mean, he's saying that how important it is to practice every day when we can. So at the time of pressure, then these thoughts may come by Krishna's mercy.
Okay. Makes sense, Mataji. Yeah, I was just trying to understand what the metaphor is between swan and lotus. Yeah, it makes sense, Mataji. I
Thank
mean, I never saw like,
even I can
or
stop. Right.
yeah.
I mean, I can understand this. This is the very, I mean, from various descriptions in Bhagavatam, description of Dwaraka, description of Hastinapura, the cities are described like this. That
Okay, Mataji.
and there is a pond and other things. So then we can, that's why it was, I mean, there's such a commonly found example is given by great acharyas like that. Okay, next question was what is engage in devotional service in neutrality? So, neutrality comes before dasya or servitude. So, neutrality is I have heard that trees and cows and trees can't move, but they want to serve the Lord if the Lord comes to him. I mean, and they're serving like that. The flute, it's a shanta rasa, means it's not very active involvement from the devotee side to do devotional service, but it's the starting of the five rasas. So that's what neutrality means. From then on, dasya is servitude. We can see Hanuman, he moved mountains in service, like that way Arjuna fought for Krishna's sake. So there is more and more intimacy as the service goes up. Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya.
So, can you give like a easy example to understand neutrality as a human, Mataji?
Like trees, about the example that the acharyas are giving is trees, cows, flute of
Okay,
the Lord. They are all living personalities. It's not a matter of
okay,
that. But they
okay.
choose to serve the Lord being trees. being cows, being a flute like that. Shantarasa.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because here they said bhakti yogis, right? So I was trying to understand how bhakti yogis. Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
And your last question was difference between impersonal Brahma Jyoti and Krishna Loka. So Krishna Loka is a personal abode of the Lord, and Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence that's coming out of the Lord and the Vaikuntha planets that separates the spiritual world and the material world. So Brahma Jyoti means out of the material world, but still it's a vast portion of light. And crossing that, one enters into uh, other planets, Vaikuntha planets and Krishna Loka, Goloka, like that.
Yeah, I have little knowledge about this Brahmajyoti Mataji, but I think in one of the purports they are explaining that uh, some uh, some of the yogis can also go to the impersonal Brahmajyoti.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So there are
That
people going there as well.
yeah, yeah. The first aspect is Sayuja is merging. If someone wants to merge into the Lord
Okay.
facilitates that by allowing him to merge into his light form. That's
Okay,
one
okay.
type of situation, but there the active, service rendering is not there in that. That is why the devotee from the bhakti yogi, they want active relationship with the Lord, and so they recommend the other processes of liberation than this merging into Brahma Jyoti.
Okay, 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 Mataji.
Thank
Yeah, very good question. Very good answers, Mataji.
Actually, very good questions. I have to say that. Really good questions. Thank you for taking your time and reading and coming up with questions. Thank you, Mataji. Satbir Mataji, anything you would like to ask or no? Okay, devotees. So we will pause here. We'll go through these wonderful verses and purports before the next session. Krishna willing, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.